Hey guys, Jatin Shrivastava here with Rockrow. Today is a very important video around social selling because many of us are trying to sell their product or services on LinkedIn. We are trying to send follow-up messages to prospects. We are trying to basically do everything possible in order to receive response from the end client, but the response rate is very poor. If we are sending out 50 to 60 messages, then we are only receiving one or two response. So there should be something you are doing wrong. That would be categorized in the don't strategy of social selling. And not only we're going to discuss about what you should not be doing, we will also discuss what you should be doing in order to win the game of social selling. Okay guys, one important thing that I would like to share before we commence with this particular video session. Social selling, it looks like it means selling on social media platform, but that's not the case. And many people misunderstand this concept and start selling their services on the social media and end up wasting their efforts. Social selling is all about building the trust, making prospect realize their pain point, and then scheduling an appointment or initial consultation call in order to proceed with your selling part. Now in the last video, we covered how to prepare buyer oriented LinkedIn profile. And in this video, before you basically start your outreach campaign, we will try to understand what is the principle of social selling and various do's and don'ts of social selling, along with some of the outreach message template that you guys can use in your LinkedIn outbound game. Again, the message template that I'm gonna share, the same you can use in your email outreach game as well. First of all, principle of social selling. Long story short, social selling is not about selling to your customers. It's about building trust, making them realize the need, and scheduling an appointment or consultation call. Before you start your social selling journey and start outreaching to prospect for selling your product or services, the first thing you need to work on is your mental state. Please do not include your list of services, your pricing option on your social selling pitches, because social selling is not about selling. It's about building relationship, making them realize their pain point and earning the trust, and then scheduling an appointment. You can't just sell anyone by tricking them. And suppose you sell your product to someone who is not in the need of that product. What eventually will happen? This will happen in negative word of mouth, where people spread negativity about you. Our aim as a sales or BD professional should be to identify or create the need and then go ahead with the next steps of social selling on a scheduled call, because you just can't sell anyone by just re-pinging them again and again with your product or service details. Rather, what you should be doing, that's all we're gonna discuss. No, people often say that they don't know what actually wrong they're doing. Now it's really easy to understand what wrong you are doing in your LinkedIn message outreach game by creating a list of messages that never gets a good response rate. Alternatively, the sales messages that you have received from other companies, analyze them and understand what makes you not to respond to them and what actually encourage you to respond to them in order to modify your own sales outreach strategy. Now enough of talking. Let's get started with the frequently happening do's and don'ts of social selling. Okay, first one we have is attitude of win it. People generally take social selling for granted, thinking all they have to do is to connect and send the sales pitch and bingo, you are done. End of the day, they are just kept on sending messages with no conversion. Alternatively, what you have to do is to set goals. Rather going wild, take every step via proper plans. You must be handy with the following data before outreach. First, how many people you are targeting to connect with today. Second, how many leads you are targeting to generate today? Do you have dynamic message templates ready, customized as per the person's LinkedIn profile? Suppose you have the answers to these questions, then you can move ahead with your campaign. Second we have is a BD or sales oriented LinkedIn profile. Well, people often miss the most important element of social selling, that is optimize your profile with respect to the buyer's need rather than a sales or BD oriented LinkedIn profile. What usually you have to do, or what you must have to do, is to create a buyer oriented LinkedIn profile. A management profile, a consultant profile works much better than a sales or BD profile. You can watch day 1 of social selling course. Link is in the description as well, where I basically explained how to build a buyer oriented LinkedIn profile. Okay, next we have is making it all about product or their services they are offering. A quick image I would like to share here. See how these persons are using journalized templates for outreaching. Trust me guys, the response rate of these sort of messages is near to dead. Now what eventually happens? Although they are hitting, let's say around 30 to 40 messages per day, but their conversion rate would be very poor in terms of what basically you're trying to achieve. Now let's understand what actually you have to do. Make it about them. Now what I mean by this, review the customer profile, scan through their activity feed, their professional experience, their education, their LinkedIn about, recommendation, or try to find any mutual connection. Use this data point to customize your message for initiating the conversation. All of this in detail we will be discussing in the next video, that is consultative approach of social selling. Again, I will provide you guys with some of the message templates in towards the end of the video, which you can basically use for your outreaching business. A quick example I would like to give to differentiate what you have to do and what you are currently doing. First, let me tell you what you are currently doing. For example, you provide SEO services, that is search engine optimization services, to your clients. And you know my website rockgrow.com is not ranking well on the search engine. Now first approach that you can take is basically to send me a bulk message like this and keep on sending me bulk messages till the time I respond. Or second approach you can take, which usually work, is to customize your message. Start talking with me about my business, about my vision, and share some useful stuff that might help me in ranking my website. No selling. Be a helper of someone, and you know that I'm not a technical guy who can do the SEO stuff and will ultimately reach out to you for help. Make sense? Let's move ahead with the next slide then. Next we have is inauthenticated messages. By this I mean you guys try to trick people on LinkedIn with your connection messages. You try to personalize it, but again you are trying to trick people as well. Let me tell you why. So a common personalized message goes like this: your profile seems interesting to me, let's connect. Although you never read their profile, and hence the conversion rate of getting connected will be poor as well. And what people usually do, if by any chance they get connected, on the very next day they start sending out their sales pitches and end up losing their client's trust. What rather you have to do is to actually review their profile and customize your personal message based on their education, their experience, LinkedIn about, recommendation, or finding a mutual point. They will easily correlate, thus will help in better conversion. Okay guys, next we have is LinkedIn is not for closing sales. There is a common misconception, or rather a misperception in everyone's mind, that LinkedIn will help in closing deals. Well, yes, it do help, but not directly on LinkedIn. It involves calls, personal meetings, email exchange, and so on. Hence, make sure not to include your product pitch, pricing information, your company offering, everything about yourself. No, make it customized about your buyer. Hence, follow a consultative sales approach. Let me tell you what you have to do in the consultative sales approach. Make things clear in your mind that 90% of buyers never respond to sales messages, but they do respond to consultative sales messages. Now let's understand what all you need to include in your message sequences. Again, here as well you would be using sequences, but the content of that sequences would be different. Let me tell you what all it would be including. Talk about person's activity feed, profile, skill set in your first message, in first or two messages, let's say, and then share some research articles by top market player highlighting the pain points. Third, asking quick question focusing on the pain points. Quote your own customer or their competitor examples working with you, plus highlighting the ROI that you are delivering. Hence, your end goal is not to sell. It's just a way to initiate a conversation for fixing an appointment for a video conference call to talk in depth. To make this consultative approach very easy to understand, let's talk about how doctors usually treat their patients. Let me give you an example of two types of doctors. One name is X, other one name is Y. X doctor recommends you to get a treatment of worth thousands of dollars without even examining you. Would you be going forward with them? Me? No. Now let me take example of a Y doctor. Y doctor first asks you to get some tests done. Take these medications. If you do not feel well, then you may need to go with this treatment. Hence, what that Y doctor is trying to do is to showing care, coming to the main points via strong reference point. That is where we need to take help of research articles. And then the end result, the medical report, is basically a pain point where he is striking and trying to sell his services of basically getting the that higher pricing treatment. Okay, so next we have is usual process of new beginners out there is to connect with the people and boom with their sales pitches and then follow up sales pitches. Make it feel like I did something wrong by getting connected with these people. Hence, you need not to sell your services on LinkedIn. Rather, you need to take a consultative approach. Let me tell you what exactly you need to do. You need to keep a mixture of what there for me plus consultative sales pitches in a ratio of 3:2, where in the three messages you would be talking all about me, about my activity feed, about my profile, my skill set, about research articles that could help me, about any mutual point, any mutual connections, any competitor insights. And then rest of the two messages would be your consultative sales pitches that focus on the main pain point, that is basically customers pain point, and sharing some of the competitor customers that you have success story. For example, you are currently working with Amazon and you are trying to reach Flipkart, then quote how Amazon is using your services and is able to drive more sales than Flipkart. Next thing that I would like to highly discuss with in this particular video is when I say share research article, try to be a consultant rather than share something that you wrote and just trying to gain some views or engagement on your own article. Rather, share something from authentic sources like EY, Gartner, or let's say People Matters, or let's say Hindustan Times, some news articles as well. What you are trying to do is to educate your buyer and trying to hit him the pain point by taking some strong references. Just like doctor took that strong reference of medical report, you are taking some strong references of high-end research articles. Next point we have is basically inauthenticated message, or you can say a very poor beginning of your conversation. So some of the message template that I have seen in my experience goes like this: John, or let's say Jatin, I'm trying to learn more about my connections. Can you help me? What do you do? Okay. Next, something like this: Hey Jatin, good morning. How are you doing? Stop. Nothing. Look, LinkedIn is not your Facebook account where you are going for chit chat. So if you want to know more about me, then you can visit my LinkedIn profile. If you are just coming here to say me good morning, then okay, go dude, good morning. I'm not gonna reply to you. So rather, as I told you earlier as well, talk about them. Show them the research that you did before outreaching. If you are asking questions, then give them some options to respond. Not the questions like good morning or something like that. Something that is basically encourage me, that basically push me to reply to you. And again, people like CEOs, CTOs do not have enough time, so in order to expect a higher response rate, you can give them some options as well. Next we have is long messages and trying to include everything at once, just like the example that I quoted earlier as well. What if I call you and then start speaking about me and me? What will you do? Definitely you will hang up the call and will maybe never pick up my call again. The same is true on social media as well. If you lost the trust with your first lengthy message, then chances of getting response is very low. Alternatively, what you have to do is to keep your message short, concise for better readability. People usually scan content or messages before reading. Hence, make sure to highlight the pain points. Okay guys, so these are some of the do's and don'ts that people usually comment. If you think you can correlate here with your own message templates, and you think you would be going ahead and improving your message templates from here on, then consider liking this video as well, and sending me maybe an email thanking me for this video if you really like this content. Okay guys, so next we have basically LinkedIn message templates that you guys can also use, and may feel free to basically copy the content that I am sharing with you guys here in terms of the message templates. Okay guys, so here I have built trying to build message template based on different criteria that I just discussed. First, basically message can goes like with respect to the someone's activity feed. For example, hi John, I read your recent post regarding LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I think these points may add value to your LinkedIn post. Point 1, point 2, would love to connect and have your thoughts on this. This works really good. 90 to 95% conversion rate. Second we have is LinkedIn profile headline approach. Hi John, I came across your profile and congratulations on holding the position of, let's say, HR head with Amazon. As we work in the similar industry, considering that you are also from the industry that John is currently working in, would be a pleasure to connect and learn from your experience. Note, make sure your LinkedIn headline should not say you are from sales, it should be optimized. Because if you say that I am a sales or BD professional, then John will ultimately get a hint and he will be trying to sell me something. Let's skip this profile. Okay, so make sure you're watching LinkedIn buyer oriented LinkedIn profile optimization video, that is part 1 of social selling. Okay, next goes like this. Hi John, as you are working in the HR industry, I came across this article from Gartner. From Gartner, okay, a highly reputed website that talks about artificial intelligence in HR. Then the article link. I hope you may find some value from this article. Let me know your opinion on the Gartner research, and do you think AI may streamline HR processes? So the three messages that you have to send with respect to the research article, with respect to about me, with respect to basically to hit my pain points. So this is something that you can use. All you have to do is not just to share the article link. You have to you have to basically end it with a CTA, that is call to action. That is here. Let me know your opinion on the Gartner research. Do you think AI may streamline HR processes? If you do not receive any response on this message, then basically try to give John some options, some 2 or 3 options to pick. Maybe he will respond. Sales social selling is all about experimenting. Okay, so it's not like this basically template will give you 100% result. You need to bring on your own basically practical knowledge in order to do make some improvements. So other messages goes like this, so you can feel free to copy and paste the messages and let me know how this works. If it worked really well, so I will maybe start building some more templates just like these. Okay, guys. So next article we're gonna discuss more about the consultative message approach. Now enough of talking that about bio-oriented LinkedIn profile, what do's and don'ts of LinkedIn profile. Now actually we will be doing some real practical analysis of how to basically approach to someone for a conversion rate of let's say 90 to 95%. There's no message template on the earth that can give you 100% conversion rate because 90% of buyers never respond. Okay, then we're gonna take help of automation support as well, and then some multi-touch point via email and phone number. It may happen, let's say John replied to your message that let's catch up Gary sometime tomorrow, and then he even respond with the time, date and time with for you. So we're gonna take help of automation tool, that is to find their email ID and phone number to have some multi-touch points.